So what if you could actually make yourself smarter? Not just learn more facts, but actually increase your intelligence. Today, we're diving into 6 powerful habits that science shows can literally rewire your brain for a higher IQ.
I mean, really think about that. What if your IQ isn't some fixed number you're stuck with for the rest of your life? For years, we've been told that intelligence is mostly genetic. You get what you get, and that's pretty much it. But what if that's not the whole story?
Get this. That quote was about Albert Einstein. Yeah, that Einstein. And he wasn't the only one. Thomas Edison's teacher literally sent him home with a note saying he was too stupid to learn anything. And yet these guys went on to completely change the world.
So what happened? What changed for them? It certainly wasn't a sudden genetic upgrade. Nope, it was their habits, the way they approached problems, the way they learned. It fundamentally rewired their brains, and in doing so, they shattered the myth that intelligence is something you're just born with.
Okay, but how is that even possible? How can a few simple habits make such a profound difference in your brain? Well, the answer is pretty incredible, and it lies in the science of how our brains actually change and adapt. The whole thing really comes down to this one amazing concept: neuroplasticity. It's your brain's built-in ability to reorganize itself by creating new pathways, new connections. Every single time you learn something new or practice a skill, you are physically changing your brain's wiring. This is the secret sauce we're going to learn how to use.
So how do we put this whole neuroplasticity thing into action? Well, we're going to start with 3 really powerful thinking habits. Think of these as mental workouts designed to build a brain that's way more creative and way better at solving problems.
First, we're going to cover how to think without a constant fire hose of new information. Then, we'll talk about why struggling with a problem is actually a really good thing. And finally, how you can use writing to truly understand complicated ideas. All right, habit number 1, think without input. Most of us think that to get smarter, we need to consume more videos, more articles, more podcasts. But neuroscience actually shows the opposite is true. Your brain builds those new, stronger connections when it's forced to think for itself, without a constant stream of new stuff coming in. And here's a super simple way to practice this. Try taking a 20 to 30-minute walk every day. And here's the catch: no phone, no music, no podcasts, just you and your thoughts. I know, it might feel kind of boring, maybe even a little uncomfortable at first, but that discomfort, that's the feeling of your brain doing the heavy lifting and actually rewiring itself for growth. Okay, our second habit is to learn to love the struggle. Think about it like you're solving a puzzle. If someone just walks up and gives you the answer right away, did your brain actually learn anything? Of course not. It only gets stronger when it has to try and fail and then try again. That struggle is the mental workout. And the difference here is, well, it's night and day. When you try first, your brain is busy forming new connections and building real problem-solving muscles. But when you ask for help immediately, you're basically creating dependency, and your intelligence just stagnates. So remember that struggle isn't a sign that you're failing, it's a sign that you're learning. Our third thinking habit is all about redefining an everyday activity: writing. Most of us see writing as just a way to store information, right? Like taking notes. But the most brilliant thinkers use it as a tool for thinking itself. The simple act of writing forces your brain to slow down, to focus, and to go deeper. See, writing physically forces you to focus on just one thought at a time, which helps create a really clear picture of your ideas in your head. It's the ultimate tool for figuring out what you actually understand versus what you're still a little fuzzy on. Try it. Keep a daily journal just for thinking, and see what happens. Okay, so we've covered how to think better. Now let's switch gears and talk about learning habits. These are 3 practices designed to help you absorb and actually hold on to knowledge way more effectively. In this section, we'll explore the incredible power of learning a little bit about a lot of things, how to treat your memory like a muscle you can train, and why rest is actually one of the most productive things you can do to get smarter.
Habit number 4 is to basically become a generalist. The smartest people rarely stick to just one subject. By learning across different fields, a little science here, a little art there, maybe some history, they can connect the dots in ways nobody else sees. When your brain starts linking these diverse ideas, it builds brand new neural pathways. That's what allows you to think faster and more creatively. It's where real innovation comes from.
All right, next up is habit 5, training your memory. So many people walk around saying, "Oh, I just have a bad memory." But that's a total myth. Memory is a muscle. It is not some fixed talent you're born with. It's a skill that you can develop with practice. So what's the best exercise for this memory muscle? It's simple. Teach what you learn. The next time you read a book or learn something new, try to explain it to a friend from memory without looking at your notes. That act of pulling the information out and putting it into your own words is one of the most powerful ways to lock it into your brain for good. And finally, we have habit number 6, and this one might be the most underrated of them all: rest. In our crazy hustle culture, we're taught that more work always equals more progress. But for your brain, that's just not true. Your brain doesn't upgrade while it's running at full speed. It upgrades during downtime. I mean, look at Charles Darwin. He only did focused work for about 4 to 5 hours a day. And resting isn't just about getting a full night's sleep, though that's crucial. It's also about taking walks, getting some sunlight, and, get this, allowing yourself to be bored. Boredom isn't a sign of weakness. It's a necessary process for your brain to recharge, process information, and consolidate everything it's learned. So let's bring this all home. The real path to a smarter, stronger mind isn't about cramming more and more information into your head. As we've seen, it's all about building better habits to fundamentally change how your brain actually works.
If there's one thing you take away from this, let it be this. To grow your intelligence, you need to shift your focus from what you consume to how you think. Consistently practicing these habits is what actually drives that neuroplasticity we talked about, building a genuinely stronger and more creative mind.
And that brings us to the end. So I'll leave you with a simple question. Which one of these 6 habits are you going to start today to begin changing your brain?